Hey everybody, and welcome back to the channel. As you can see from the title, we're talking Nintendo Switch Online again. The genesis for this idea is kind of elaborated off something I was talking about with a wish list back in January with the Nintendo Switch 2 launch direct. But it got me thinking more about it today when I was reading a bunch of y'all's comments about Wind Waker HD. If they release that, because we got Wind Waker on the Switch 2, Nintendo Switch Online, would you pick it up right away? Would you pick it up at all? Kind of thing like that. So it got me thinking more and more. Actually, before I go into that topic, I want to thank everybody for the comments on that video and the likes. That video is doing really well. It's been one of my better performing long form videos in recent history, so I do want to thank everybody for watching that, liking it, commenting on it, helping out with the algorithm. If you're a subscriber and you commented or liked that video, definitely appreciate the returning views. If you're new here and you commented, that also helped, and maybe this video might get you to hit that subscribe button this time. But yeah, so while I was reading the comments, answering the comments, it kind of got me thinking more and more about Nintendo Switch Online, more specifically kind of like exclusives to the Switch 2, because I know we could go on for days and days what games we want to see added for N64, for Super Nintendo, Nintendo, Sega Genesis, Game Boy Advance, and Game Boy, kind of thing like that. And also that would require me to go through and look at all what's there, and that would take a lot of time doing all that. But no, I wanted to focus mostly on GameCube. We got a couple surprises coming later of a wish list for me. But yeah, it was kind of a wish list that I started thinking about today of games I want to see on the Nintendo Switch Online for GameCube. Kind of like what we're likely to get, but then also kind of a wish list of games probably less likely to get, because of various different legalities, rights issues, and things like that. But, without further ado, we're already 2 minutes into this video. Let's go on to the list. So we're going to start off first with stuff that we're likely to see, that I would like, things that are likely to see that I would like to see added. So this is not going to, it's not going to cover every, Nintendo first party, second party, even third parties that we're likely to see. These are just kind of like my list of games that I would like to be added. Make sure you comment below and let me know what you want to see added too, and how likely you think it is for that to be added. So first up, I think this is going to be one of the next ones added, probably Mario Kart Double Dash. I know we got Super Mario Kart World on there, but I mean Double Dash, that might be the most popular GameCube game. I would say it'd be like Double Dash, Wind Waker, maybe Metroid Prime. I don't think Mario Sunshine's up there for most popular games on there. I just don't I know people talk a lot about Mario 64, people talk a lot about the Galaxy series. I don't hear too many people talk about the Sunshine series, but maybe it is. But I would say Double Dash is up there. Whenever GameCube gets mentioned, like on video game videos or something like that, where people are just talking, Double Dash is usually one of the first games people mention. So I can't think that this won't be too far behind. It might get pushed out a little bit because they want to sell more copies of World, because if you got Double Dash to play, you might not want to buy and play World. So I don't know. It might be something that Nintendo does. I wouldn't put it past them. So Mario Kart Double Dash, just an extremely fun Mario Kart game to play. And in fact, I did. Maybe I'll do an end card right here, or a link card right here. I did do a Josh Plays for the first time for Mario Kart Double Dash, because I missed out on that on the GameCube. I was still, my buddies and I were still playing Mario Kart 64, and we didn't want to go to do Double Dash. We were just still playing Mario Kart 64, so we didn't play it. So I just kind of missed out on it for years and years and years. And then when I got my Japanese GameCube, the Spice Orange one, it came with a copy of Double Dash. It came with a bunch of games, but that was one of the games that it came with. So I started playing, and I was like, wow, I really did drop the ball not playing this when it first came out. So that one I want to see come to the Switch so I can play it on the go. But also, it's a better up-res from the Switch 2 to my Prism, which I have for my GameCube to play it on the HD TV. It still looks good, but it looks better on the Switch. So that's the next one. Coming up, I should say coming up number 2, but it's not really number 2, number 1, 2, or 3. It's just stream of thought, what I thought of when I was making this list. But we're sticking with Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess, another rumored HD remake that we're supposed to get, or remaster. We're supposed to get on the Switch 2, or on the Switch, that has not materialized. But I would just like to play Twilight Princess again. I do have it for my Wii but that would also require me to hook up either my Wii or my Wii U to the TV to play it. Kind of lazy about doing it, and plus I want to start from scratch, and also to have better visuals with the Switch 2. And since it would be the GameCube version, Link would be left-handed like he's supposed to be. I hate that because of the Wii, they mirrored it, and he's now right-handed because he was always left-handed as a fellow lefty. That broke my heart when they switched him to be a righty. But yeah, Twilight Princess. And of course, gotta mention Smash Bros. Melee as being a wishlist thing. I know to me, kind of all the Smash Brothers games are kind of the same once we hit Melee and all. Because, I mean, Smash for the N64, that was almost like a proof of concept now. But, like, Melee and whatever the Wii one was called, and then the Wii U, and then Ultimate on the Switch 2, they all kind of play the same to me, and I enjoy all of them. But from what I understand, the competitive Smash Brothers community, Melee is the favorite, I believe, and that was the first one with like HD graphics, and it looked really, really good compared to the polygonness of the N64 version. So definitely Melee. I remember getting that, my buddies and I having a blast playing that game, so that'll definitely be welcome up on the Switch. And plus, like, Melee and Double Dash gotta have online competitive play, right? So we can get online with our buddies and play like we used to. And then the Metroid Prime series, I know we got the remaster for the Switch, but we don't have 2 and 3, or maybe just 2. I think 2 and 3 were both on the GameCube. Maybe 3 was on the Wii. I really don't remember. They all kind of blend in, but at least 1 and 2. And I would not be surprised if they dropped that series like on GameCube Online when Metroid Prime 4 comes out, or right when it comes out, so you could literally just play like the whole series start to finish on your game or on your Switch 2. So that's my prediction right here. I've been pretty good on just predicting things for the Switch 2 with no insider information, so I do take pride in that. So my prediction is we'll at least see one of the Metroid Prime games, if not all of them, drop on the release or right around the release for Prime 4. Next up, Luigi's Mansion. I mean, I feel that's a given. That was a launch title for the GameCube. I'm sure it's going to find its way to Nintendo Switch Online pretty soon. In fact, I wonder, this thing about like what the release is going to be, because every month we seem to get a Nintendo Switch Online release for the various systems, but I wonder what they're going to do with the GameCube since that library is so small right now. Are we going to get like 3 every couple of months or something like that, 3 or 4, just to build that library up, make the $50 you're paying more valuable? I just kind of wonder how they're going to do it. I got to imagine, at least to start out, we're probably going to get like, whenever they drop them, like 2 or 3 at a time. Gotta be, like, easily. And I think Luigi's Mansion would probably be in that next batch of games. I would not be surprised if it was not. And then speaking of launch titles, this is a personal favorite of mine, and I would love to see it come. And even though it's not a first party, I think it's pretty likely because Sega and Nintendo are playing very nicely together these last couple generations. But Super Monkey Ball, I really enjoyed that. In fact, I bought the Switch Super Monkey Ball game. I've yet to play it. I bought it on a whim because it was on sale, and I haven't played it just because I love the Super Monkey Ball series so much. So just seeing that come in and getting to play it with the trusty old GameCube controller, that'd be a lot of fun. And then I mentioned it earlier, Super Mario Sunshine. I mean, that's, even though it's on the 3D All-Stars pack, much like, you know, I talked about Metroid Prime. I mean, you can't have a Nintendo online system without the mainline Mario, right? So that's gonna come. Now this one, I have it in likely to see because it's a first party game, but the rights issues, if I'm remembering correctly, are kind of murky, which is why we haven't seen this series since its debut on the GameCube. But Eternal Darkness, I gotta think if Nintendo can publish it on the online server, because, you know, they launched that mature that mature 17 plus for the GameCube. So I'm sure they're going to do more stuff with that, because I'm sure that mature plus just goes for any game, not just, you know, GameCube games. Not GameCube, I'm sorry, N64 games. So that would fall right in there. That was a mature game. A lot of fun. And if you never played it, the sanity meter was like a first of its kind for survival horror there, where it's like the game would mess with you. Like it tell you your file got erased, or turn the TV off, but not really turn the TV off, just make it look like it did. And it was really, really cool. Like the first time you played that, it really messed with you. And plus, it's got a good story. It does have old school tank controls, kind of like the Resident Evil games, which was disappointing because I didn't remember it having those controls. And I was replaying it the other day on my GameCube. I was like, oh man, but hopefully it's something I get used to playing. And maybe because, oh no, I was playing with the GameCube controller. I don't know. I'm hoping though that when it does get released, then I really devote time to it, especially because I can play it on the Switch handheld, just to get more time with Eternal Darkness because it's been years. Next up, the Pikmin series 1, 2, and 3 were all on the GameCube. Maybe just 1 and 2. I don't remember what 3 was on. But yeah, 1 and 2 were definitely on the GameCube. 3 might have been... No, I think 3 was a Wii game. Or Wii U. But 1 and 2... this is something I don't know if Nintendo's going to jump into right away, because we have 1, 2, 3, and 4 all on the Switch. So there's not a rush to put the Pikmin GameCube games out there unless it's easy for them, because they've got it readily available, because they did I don't even know if it's a remake or a remaster. Probably a remaster. Because they just recently put the remasters out on the Switch, so they can probably throw up 1 and 2 right there. But they might wait to put those on there, get some other games, because those of us who want to play Pikmin probably already own the game. I mean, I do. So, but that will probably make it up there. A game that we haven't had a remake of, but we've gotten a new series of, Fire Emblem Path of Radiance. That will probably be up there. Speaking of games that we do have a Switch release for, Animal Crossing. I mean, you got to put the original Western version on there, because Animal Crossing did come out on the N64 in Japan, but this is just kind of and it's basically the same game, just enhanced, kind of a remaster of that. So I would imagine Animal Crossing making its way. This one I have in likely, it could go either way, but Square Enix has put some other games on Nintendo things recently, and that would be Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, the GameCube exclusive that you can play with 4 people. That was a lot of fun, and honestly, I thought about getting the Switch remaster remake of it, but I didn't hear good things about it. I heard that it wasn't as good, but one of my 3 friends that I used to play this game with, they have a Switch too. They've got the camera. I got to get the other 2 to get it. But yeah, that would definitely be a fun relive of old times, getting together to play that game. And my former Clash of the Nerds mate Nelson, he would probably get stuck with carrying the lantern, like he always got stuck carrying the lantern when we played the game originally on the GameCube. In fact, I think that was the first game we all played with Wavebirds, because we all went out and bought Wavebirds, and I think that was the first game we played with Wavebirds as well. So, I mean, we don't need a Wavebird now to go wireless with the GameCube controller, but that would be a fun game to relive and play. Next up is another game. I think if it drops on Nintendo Switch Online, it will drop right around its sequel coming out, and that's Kirby Air Ride, because we have Air Riders that was announced coming out soon, so I could imagine the first Kirby Air Ride game coming out there. And it's not really on my wish list, so to speak. It's something I added because I figure they're going to add it around the time Air Riders comes out. Because that game, I did not like. I got it, again, got the Japanese version, came with my Spice Thorns GameCube when I ordered it, which kind of weirdly, Air Rides, the Japanese version at the very least, is kind of expensive. Like, if you get it complete, it's over $100, and that's coming from like Surugaya in Japan. Who knows what the secondary market's charging for? And it's almost complete. Like, I'm missing the paper sleeve that the Japanese GameCube games have, and that was like $26 just for the sleeve. So I haven't bought the sleeve yet because I don't plan on selling my Air Ride, but it's like I do want it to complete, but I don't want to pay $26 for a piece of cardboard. So I would have to look for that on its own, trying for a cheaper price. Like when I was at some secondhand stores in Japan, I was looking for like just the Air Ride paper sleeve to go with my Air Ride, because I knew if I found the game, it was going to be more than I wanted to pay. So I don't need it complete that way. I just need the damn paper sleeve. So a few Mario sports games. I'm sure we're going to get Super Mario Strikers, which is the soccer game, Superstars Baseball, Power Tennis, and Golf. I would not be shocked if those games don't show up on Nintendo Switch Online. In fact, it'd be kind of cool if they just got them all out of the way and just whenever they did that drop of one of them, they just, boom, you get all four. I do remember I did not play Strikers until several years ago when I picked up a copy for my GameCube. It's a blast. Next, might be the best soccer game I've ever played. I'm not a big soccer guy. Mario Superstars Baseball, it's a fun arcade baseball game. The Mario Tennis games have always been fun, ever since the N64 game, though. I heard the Switch version's not great. Haven't played it. And then Mario Golf is always fun. I know a lot of people crapped on the Switch Mario Golf game, but I had fun playing it. So, I mean, it kind of like your mileage may vary out of those games, but I enjoy if it's a competent golf game, because golf is so relaxing to me. Like when I play golf in real life, even though I'm really bad at it, it always relaxes me. Like I can hit like 30 shots into the water. I'm just like, whatever. I'm out here playing golf. It's having fun. That's kind of the same way I feel about video game golf. If it's a competent golf game with competent mechanics, I always have fun playing it. So I don't know why people shat on that one. I thought it was a perfectly serviceable golf game, and I liked it. Next up, Wave Race. I mean, Blue Storm. We got to get another we got Wave Race again. I think that was near the launch of it, so that's got to come out. I mean, the Wave Race games to me were always kind of a fun game. I'm not really into jet skis or anything like that in real life, but I think how cool Wave Race for the N64 looked. Kind of like revolutionized water graphics and things like that, and I think Blue Storm did the same on GameCube. So I think that's another game that can show the fidelity of the GameCube games on an HD console, on an HD TV, and just look really pretty. So looking forward to that one when it drops, because it's going to drop. Then we got a pair of Star Fox games, Star Fox Assault and Adventures. Assault is really fun. I really like that game. Haven't played Adventure yet. Looking forward to that. I think that was a rare release, but again, we have Banjo-Kazooie, Donkey Kong 64, Donkey Kong Country already. So I think Microsoft and Rare are putting the Nintendo-owned property of Star Fox onto Nintendo Switch Online. I don't think it will be a problem. Next up, Pokemon Coliseum. That is a big one for Pokemon fans. I never played it. At this point, I was out of Pokemon as far as games were concerned. I'm an original 151 person, and I wasn't playing the new, I want to say it was Game Boy Advance games at this time. I wasn't playing those games. So I just passed by Coliseum, but I would like to try it out. I would like to see how they do it, since you can't like use your Game Boy Advance games. Or maybe you could. Maybe we can connect the Game Boy Advance games. They can figure out how to do that. That would actually be really cool. But I think they've got the Pokemon games on the Game Boy, and I think they got the Pokemon Stadium games on the Nintendo 64 Switch Online. So if they could do that by now, they probably would have done that for those games. But maybe that's something they're cooking up. But Coliseum, I definitely would try that out if it came out. I don't know how much I would play it. I'd probably like play through it once, because if it's anything like the Stadium games, you can kind of get through it in like an hour or two, and with the save stage, you can just play like one trainer, save it, go on to the next, kind of thing like that. Going back to Sega, like I just put Sonic Adventure on here, but there was several Sonic games on for the GameCube, so I figure we got to get like one, right? We got to get some sort of Sonic game from them, and probably Sonic Adventures 2. We'll probably get from Sega. I mean, the Genesis is already on the Nintendo Switch Online with the Sonic game, so seeing the Sonic Adventure GameCube games wouldn't shock me. And then my last two for ones we will likely see that are on my wish list, Chibi Robot, Scott the Woz, shout out to you, buddy. You're the one who got me into wanting to play Chibi Robot until I saw how much it cost, and I'm like, I'll try to emulate that at some point. I still haven't emulated it, but if it comes to Switch Online, I will definitely play it in honor of Scott the Woz. And then I will tweet at him if I hate it, just for making me want to play it for all these years, and then I played it and didn't like it. But no, I wouldn't tweet anything mean at Scott. Scott seems like a genuinely nice person. It seems like the Scott the Woz you see on his channel is just kind of like almost like pro wrestling, a heightened version of the actual Scott Wozniak. No, it's not Waz. I don't know what Scott's last name is. I know it's Waz something. But yeah, it seems like a heightened version of the real life Scott. Because when you see him do IRL stuff, when he's actually talking to people and not being in character, kind of thing like that. So I would never say anything mean to Scott. He seems like a gem of YouTube. And then Doshin the Giant. I do have that for emulation. I haven't played it though. But I do want to check that out. That was a game like, I think it only released in Japan. I don't think it ever came over here, but they have done Japan only releases. They have released on Nintendo Switch Online. So I wouldn't be shocked to see that come over either. And I do want to check it out. It was a DD original, and they put it on the GameCube, and I just can't remember if it came stateside. And now up to, these are all third party, and these would be like iffy releases. Probably most of them probably won't happen. But up first is Resident Evil 4. That was originally a GameCube exclusive. I could see that coming, but at the same time, I could also see Capcom not wanting to give it away and be like, no, we'll just port Resident Evil 4 Remake over to the Switch too. So either one I think would happen. I think we're more likely to see the remake ported than we are to see them just give us Resident Evil 4 for free on the Switch Online. Resident Evil 0, on the other hand, I think we very well could see come to it, because if I also remember correctly, that was one of the 4 like GameCube exclusives Capcom had pledged, so I could see them doing Resident Evil 0 to get Resident Evil on the Switch Online, kind of thing. And sticking with Capcom, Beautiful Joe. I mean, that was a fantastic seller for the GameCube, and I know it's got a huge cult following, and I don't think Capcom has any Beautiful Joe collections out there. I don't think this would conflict with any of their sales, so them allowing Nintendo to put it on Nintendo Switch Online would work. Next up, I don't know how the rights would end. It's a Lucasfilms classic, but the Nintendo Rogue series, putting that, I know I think it was called Rogue Squadron 2. That was a launch game for the GameCube. I actually picked that up on launch. I think I got that and Super Monkey Ball. I did not get Luigi's Mansion when I picked up my GameCube at launch, and it's a blast. I still own it to this day. I love playing that game. I would love to play it on the Switch too, especially on the go. I think that game would look awesome on that small screen. So if the Rogue series could come to Nintendo Switch Online, that would be fantastic. I'm not really gonna hold my breath though, because I don't know how LucasArts, how the rights go with those games with Disney. So I don't know if they could just republish it or what have you. So it's kind of up in the air how that would work. But it would be really cool to see. I do know I was playing The Emperor's Tomb, the Indiana Jones LucasArts game. It's on Game Pass, so if that's on Game Pass, then maybe we can get the Rogue Squadron series up on Nintendo Switch Online. That'd be a blast. Coming up again, something rights issues are kind of weird for this one, and it would be a Disney thing. But it would be Ultimate Spider-Man. I don't know if you guys played the Ultimate Spider-Man series back in the day, but it had that nice cel-shaded art style, and it kind of ran on the same engine as the movie Spider-Man game, so it was pretty cool. It was a lot of fun to play. You played through the storylines of the old Ultimate Spider-Man series. So to see that come out on the Nintendo Switch Online would be really, really cool. I think that one is highly unlikely, though, because if I remember correctly, Activision published it. And obviously, they don't have the rights to the Spider-Man games right now, or I don't think any Marvel property at the moment. So, again, rights issues would be a thing there. And sticking with Activision and rights issues, the Tony Hawk games. 3 and 4, I think the first Underground was on the GameCube. And again, we're looking at Tony Hawk 3 and 4 remake coming out, which is getting ported to the Nintendo Switch too. So if you had 3 and 4 on Nintendo Switch Online, that might cannibalize sales. Like people are like, oh, I could buy the remaster, but I already got the online expansion. I can play 3 and 4 for free. Again, they won't be as graphically good, but it's one of those kind of pick your poison kind of thing like that. So this would be, again, another one of those things. If they were to do it, dropping it around the same time as release could make some sense. Because, I mean, in all honesty, if I was like on the fence for getting the Tony Hawk Pro Skater remakes, which I'm not, they're coming to Game Pass. I have Game Pass, but I'd be buying them anyways because I bought 1 and 2 before it was on Game Pass because they didn't own Activision then. But if I was like on the fence and then I played the original 3 and 4 and I played them with the old graphics and then I would just see like a trailer for the new one, I'd be like, I think I want to play with the new graphics, the new frame rates and everything like that. So it could be, it's like a catch-22, almost like a double-edged sword, or if you had 3 and 4 come to the Switch Online, it could be free advertisement for them, but at the same time, you might have people like, oh no, I'm good with playing the originals. I don't need the remake, so they could lose out on a sale that way. So it's one of those things that could go either way. Definitely let me know your thoughts on that in the comments below. Do you think if they did give us Tony Hawk 3 and 4 and maybe even Underground on Switch Online, would that stop you from buying the 3 and 4 remake? Like I said, I'm getting it on Game Pass anyway, so it does not cost me any money. But if it wasn't on Game Pass, I still would buy it. I would actually probably get the Switch 2 version, funny enough. And I would still play both versions. I would go back and play the original and then also, mostly play the new one. So that would just be something to think about. But also, the rights issues has to do with the music too, because I don't know if they have every song in 3 and 4, because I know they couldn't get every song for 1 and 2. So porting it over, it's like, do they have to re-get the rights for the music or what have you? It's always weird. I'll tell you one thing. That's the one thing that always irritates me when it comes to music rights, when it comes to video games, when it comes to like re-release and stuff like that, because it's not the same with movies. Like if a movie has a song in it or anything like that, and they, it originally came out on VHS, and then we got a DVD years later, and then a Blu-ray, and then 4K, and then digital streaming, the music never hinders the movies, but for some reason it hinders video game like re-releases and things like that. Like I know on Rock Band they've lost rights to songs, so songs that were even on the disc I can't play when I play Rock Band and things like that. So that's always irritated me, how like song rights are limited when it comes to video games for some reason, but movies, I guess they're permanent. I don't know. I mean, I'm all for like the people who write the music and play the music, the bands and everything like that, getting their money and things like that. So I'm not opposed to like rights in general, but it's just, that's always kind of bugged me how movies can keep getting re-released and it has all the same music in there. There's no rights issues there, but the second it comes to a video game, you hear about like a possible remake or a re-release, and then like, oh no, we're prevented from doing it because of these songs, or we've got to figure a way to get these out of it. I always felt like, once you give the rights to be in any kind of media, then it's in there. So if it gets re-released or anything like that, maybe for a remake you have to re-up the rights. But like a re-release, like if it's the same game, kind of thing like that, or even a remaster, those rights should carry over, kind of thing like that. That's just my little thought on that. I know kind of went on a tangent there, but it would be nice to see the original Tony Hawk 3 and 4 on there, especially because 4 no longer has the story mode in it. It's all kind of like Tony Hawk 1 through 3 mission-based time trials, things like that. So having the original 4 on Nintendo Switch Online so you can play through those story modes would be really cool, but that's one thing we'll have to wait and see if it happens. Like I said, I think if it happens, it's going to be around... maybe not. It could be. They don't really announce Nintendo Switch Online games like they do games. So, we'll see if July, I think, 17th rolls around. We might get a shadow drop of 3 and 4 on Nintendo Switch Online. That'd make me really happy, I know that. Next up, this one is another one, kind of... It's a hit or miss for me. Like, I'm not sure if they would or wouldn't. Because Konami has given Nintendo games to put on Nintendo Switch Online. I don't know if they would do this one because they have done collections for the Metal Gear Solid games, but Metal Gear Solid, the Twin Snakes, I don't know if that's one they would allow to be used on there, because we did get the Metal Gear Collection Volume 1, which is 1, 2, and 3 for the Solid games, with I think Metal Gear 1 and 2, like the PSX, not the PSX, what is it called? Yeah, PSX. games on there. So they're doing collections. So maybe if we get a volume 2, which I suspect would have 4 in there, and maybe 5, but 5's a bigger game than all of them, so maybe not. But you got to think, like, for filler purposes, we'd get the Twin Snakes on there possibly. So if they were going to do a collection and include the Twin Snakes, we probably wouldn't see it on Nintendo Switch Online. But if they're not, I mean, come on, Konami, throw us all a bone. Let's get that game on there. So those of us who did not play it because we had the original Metal Gear, we're like, we don't need to play the remake. So, we get a chance to play the remake because that game is like $89 to $120 depending on where you find it. So it's kind of expensive to rebuy. So it'd be nice to have it on there. Again, like I said, all these are kind of rights issues, but the Lord of the Rings games for the GameCube, I've heard nothing but good things about those games. I really want to play them. I would like to play them, without downloading ROMs. So it would be nice to see if those could be on Nintendo Switch Online. But again, it's a rights things. Warner Brothers Games are the ones who make the Lord of the Rings game now. These were made by EA. So, it's one of those things like, would Warner Brothers allow for EA to have these games on Switch Online? Because I don't know how Nintendo pays for this. Like, I don't know if, like, they throw some money in the way. Like, they've got to pay something for them. So I don't know, these games with, like, split rights, how that would happen. Because EA obviously owns those games, but Warner Brothers own the rights. So, again, sticky wicket, much like Star Wars Rogue series as well as Ultimate Spider-Man. Next up, again, would be fall into the same with the Tony Hawk ones, which is SSX Tricky, or any of the SSX games that came out for the GameCube, mind you. I really like Tricky because of music rights. I think that'd be the only thing holding it up. Though I don't know if EA has any games on Nintendo Switch Online. So, I mean, EA might just not be participating at all with any of this. So, if they're not participating at all, they're like, we're not going to give you Lord of the Rings if they could. We're not going to give you SSX Tricky. Or my next game, any Madden game from 2002 to 2005. I give that, that wide berth because those are the top-rated Madden games according to Metacritic. So it would be nice with Madden returning to the Nintendo Switch, or just Nintendo systems in general. It would be nice if they, through some of their more popular or more higher, they're probably more popular, they're highly rated football games on there with 2002 through 2005. They could pick any one they want. They're all rated in the 90s. I think only like 2 points separates the top from the lowest in there. So that would be really cool because I do remember those Madden games, playing those a lot. I had them for the GameCube, and they were just fun to play, and they felt more innovative than what we get from Madden now. Like, it seems like Madden now is just like, better graphics than last year. Because I play the Madden games, because I've got EA Play as part of Game Pass, and I always play them every year when they become free to me, and I'm just like, this is like, it looks better than last year, but that's about it, and they like tweak some things in the menu, but it never, like the actual game never feels the same, and it seems like every year they screw with my team's playbook, and the playbook feels worse, and like some of my favorite plays from the year before are gone. So it's just kind of like, all right, we got rid of my favorite plays, but we got this crappy play right here that is always covered, kind of thing. So to give us like the old Madden games would be pretty cool, because I don't think that should be a problem with any kind of likeness rights. And I say that only because the rights are done by the PA and the NFL, and they've got all these legends and like the newer games, so I don't know if there's a Hall of Fame license or anything like that. So if there isn't any of that holding them up, I don't think there's anything that's stopping them from putting them on there. So that would be really cool. And if they want to throw in like NFL Streets too, part of that EA Big thing, that'd be kind of cool as well. But yeah, we're gonna like speed run the last 3. And that's going to be WWE games, kind of the same thing for, kind of like the Madden and the Lord of the Rings games. THQ did those games. THQ doesn't have the rights anymore. 2K Games does. So it's kind of like, how are the rights issues on those WWE games? And since we haven't seen any of the THQ, AKI wrestling games, on Nintendo Switch Online. I feel these are unlikely as well, probably due to rights issues. Next up, two RPGs. One, Tales of Symphonia. It got a remake or a remaster. I think it's a remaster, but apparently that's getting panned by people. So having the original come to Nintendo Switch Online would be pretty cool, because then you could play through it, and it's apparently better than the remaster. And then you would also get your quality of life things, so you can just create save points and just pick up where you left off, kind of thing like that. And then really popular one, Skies of Arcadia. I think this one is Sega, because I remember originally it only came out on the Dreamcast, the Dreamcast exclusive, and then after that folded, it got released on the Nintendo GameCube, and I think PlayStation got Skies of Arcadia too, but it might have been a GameCube exclusive. I don't really remember. I do remember almost picking it up for the Dreamcast. I did not, though. I bought something else instead. Probably Seaman. But no, that's apparently got like a cult following, so seeing that pop up on Nintendo Switch Online would be really, really cool. And then my last thing for Nintendo Switch Online, and it doesn't have anything to do with the GameCube, kind of, that I would love to see pop up there, and this was from my Switch 2 video back in January or February, whenever I did that, but Dreamcast Online. We've already got the Sega Genesis. I think we've gotten Sega Saturn by now if they were going to include it. But since we're already shown we can do the GameCube emulation with the Switch 2, what's stopping us from doing Dreamcast? That would be awesome. I have my Dreamcast, and I do own most of the games that I loved on the Dreamcast, but I missed some. So seeing some of them come to like Nintendo Switch Online via the Dreamcast emulation would be a really cool way to replay a lot of things. And again, I could play it on the go, like just pick this bad boy up, play some Jet Set Radio or what have you, play it on the go. And in all honesty, like, it'd be cool if the Capcom, like a lot of the Capcom fighters came there, but Capcom's re-released those on the collections, and I do have all the fighters that I want from Capcom in that era. Like, I've got both Power Stone games, the Marvel vs. Capcom games. When I say Marvel vs. Capcom games, I mean like everything in that collection. SNK vs. Capcom. So I wouldn't necessarily need those fighters, but it would still be kind of cool that if they were there, because I would like to play the original Marvel vs. Capcom 2 on the Dreamcast, because I like the way the home console version is at, because the collection we get the arcade port, and so everything's already earned. You don't earn it the same way you did with the Dreamcast, where you earn points, and then you could cash your points in to buy different colors for your characters, also new characters and things like that. So that would be really cool if they did that. So that way you can kind of replay the console version of those games. So that would be kind of cool. But I would just be happy if we just got like the Sega games. I know it would be too much to ask to get the 2K Sports games, because again, rights issues. One, Sega doesn't own 2K Sports anymore. They sold that to Take-Two Interactive. So I don't even know how that would work for those games. But also the NFL licenses with Madden and EA, so I don't even think they could port that if they wanted to. But yeah, like Virtua Tennis would be really cool to have the Dreamcast version of Crazy Taxi. Though I'm surprised I didn't put the GameCube on that, but Crazy Taxi would be another wish list. Shoot. Seaman. Have that portably to play and things like that. But yeah, so that's kind of like my wish list of Nintendo Switch Online things that I would like to see. Let me know in the comments below if you agree, disagree. What are some of the games that I might have missed? Because again, a lot of these were just kind of stream of thought. I did like look up a couple lists just to like, oh yeah, I can't believe I left off that game. I can't believe I left off that game, kind of thing like that. But yeah, let me know in the comments down below what games you would like to see come to Nintendo Switch Online. You can keep it with just GameCube, or if you want to like wish list it out, like let's get Dreamcast on there, let's get Saturn on there, kind of thing like that, because Nintendo has set a precedent with giving us Genesis. So since we have Genesis, that does leave the door open for Dreamcast, for Saturn. So let me know in the comments below what you think. Thank you for coming on this journey with me. We're past the 500 subscriber goal. We're on our way to 1,000 now. We're at, as of recording this, we're at 513, so we blew past 500. Let's keep the hype train going. Let's get some more subscription on there, get more comments, get these videos in the zeitgeist. I do appreciate everybody who watches the video, appreciate if you leave a like. I appreciate if you leave a comment. Definitely appreciate a subscribe, helping us get to where we want to go, because it's just a fun hobby for me. Lets me share my opinions with you through video, so I don't have to sit there on my keyboard typing a lot on other people's videos or on Twitter, because that's a hellscape nowadays. But I do thank you for watching, especially if you made it this far. And as always, have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.